They want to have a threesome, and she didn't want to, and they started fighting her. She wanted to leave, and they wouldn't let her leave.
Okay, all you got to do is stop that arguing. If you don't want me to go, just say you don't want me to go. That's all. You ain't got to pick a doggone argument. If you don't want me to go, just say it.
I don't want you to go.
Don't matter, because I'm still going. You can put your lips in.
This is the story of Amaya Carey, aged 19, who was kidnapped, sexually assaulted, shot multiple times and thrown out of the car into the woods by 3 people who were supposed to be her friends. This all happened because she decided not to have threesome with her friends, namely Dewitt Anderson, age 34, Cedric Banks, age 37 and Kaymia Blackmon, age 19. It was a really brutal crime to the young mother who was declared missing before she was finally found in the woods. It took more than a month for medical examiners to identify Amaya Carey's remains after she was found. Hello and welcome to Twisted Crimes. Subscribe and hit the like button for more stories.
Police are investigating after a woman is found dead with multiple gunshot wounds. Now 3 people have been arrested and charged with capital murder, and charges are now being considered.
This story will be taking us to Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi is a vibrant city located in the heart of the Deep South, home to many cultural attractions such as the Mississippi Museum of Art and the Old Capitol Museum. This city was named after Andrew Jackson, a renowned general who went on to become the 7th President of the United States. Amaya Carey was born on February 6, 2003 in Jackson, Mississippi to Shay Carey and Ricky Ellis. Amaya attended Murray High School and had a passion for hairdressing. Whoever knew Amaya knew she was kind, loving, caring, warm, smart, awesome and wonderful. She had a tremendous passion for hairdressing and was a constant source of optimism. She had a boyfriend who she frequently posted on social media. They showed affection towards each other and were looking forward to a better life together. According to her friends, they were inseparable, they loved each other and everything was going very well for them. On May 31, 2018, Amaya gave birth to an adorable son named Jaden Carey. He was the most important thing in her world. Amaya, who was described as a very kind and caring person, extended that act to her very good friend Kaymia Blackmon. On February 15, Amaya was picking up her friend Kaymia Blackmon, age 19, who was with her boyfriend, Dewitt Anderson, age 34. They went to several locations that night, and at one of them, Blackmon, Anderson, and Anderson's brother, Cedric Banks, age 37, who joined the group at a point, all tried to have threesome with Amaya, which she refused. Then they started fighting her and would not let her leave. They kept trying to convince her to let them have their way with her, but she turned them down repeatedly, making things escalate. At this point, Amaya and Kaymia started fighting, which made Dewitt Anderson, her boyfriend, pull out a gun. He did not hesitate in shooting Amaya, who didn't die but was severely injured. The trio then placed the injured Amaya in a car where she was sexually assaulted by one of them while the car was in motion. Police in their investigation did not know for sure if Amaya was still alive when she was assaulted in the car. After they got satisfied, they then drove into the woods where they threw her body out of the car and then shot her 2 more times before driving away. Cedric Banks was the one who pulled the trigger this time. Amaya would be declared missing and the investigation started by talking to her family members. Luckily, some family members were able to tell the cops that the trio were the last people seen with her. This was how the investigation started, and it all pointed at the trio. Police were able to find her body after many more investigations.
3 are facing capital murder charges after one teenager was sexually assaulted and killed back in February. Police just now being able to identify the victim. Jackson police found a body on Forest Avenue Extension near Clay Street on February 15th. The female victim was discovered dead with 3 gunshot wounds. She was identified last Thursday by the Hines County medical examiner as 18-year-old Amaya Carey. The next day, officers were able to identify the people she spent her last minutes with.
After positively identifying all of the criminals, the police went ahead to arrest and charge them with the crime. On March 30th, Kaymia and Dewitt were called in for questioning, and they eventually described the events of the evening to investigators.
Arrest 3 people for their connection to an alleged murder in the capital city. The gruesome killing claimed the life of an 18-year-old mother. Our Quentin Smith joins us in the studio now with details.
Yeah, Maggie, the victim has been identified as Amaya Carey. On February 15th, police say she was shot, kidnapped, and left for dead. On your screen right here are the 3 suspects: 34-year-old Dewitt Anderson, 19-year-old Kaymia Blackmon, and 37-year-old Cedric Banks. Now, according to investigators, Carey was going to pick up Blackmon, who was with her boyfriend, Anderson. Police say they went to several locations that night, and at one of the stops, Blackmon, Anderson, and Banks all tried to have sex with Carey. Investigators say the 18-year-old refused and got into a fight with Blackmon. Police describe what happened after that. Take a listen.
They want to have a threesome, and she didn't want to, and they started fighting her. She wanted to leave, and they wouldn't let her leave.
Kaymia Blackmon was assaulting her, and so her boyfriend picked up a gun and shot her. She was severely wounded. They placed her in a car, and as they was driving to Forest Avenue where they dumped the body, they had sex with her in the car. At that location, after they put her out of the car, they shot her. It was told during our investigation that she was shot twice again, 2 more times, and her body was left there on scene on Forest Avenue near Clay.
Jackson police say they don't know if the teenager was dead or alive when she was assaulted in the vehicle.
Amaya's body was identified more than a month after her body was discovered.
Carey's body was found along Forest Avenue near Clay Street, where officers say the suspects dumped her after sexually assaulting her.
Investigators believe the female suspect, Kaymia, and Amaya knew each other very well and had planned a threesome sexual encounter involving Kaymia and Dewitt, but things most likely changed when suddenly Cedric Banks appeared in the picture.
She was kidnapped. She was trying to leave. She was Kaymia Blackmon and her boyfriend. They was fighting because they was trying to have sex with her, and she didn't want to have it.
It was a shock to hear that they would shoot her for that, and also a major shock that one of them would sexually assault her in the car after she had been shot in the apartment, plus shooting her twice more after she was thrown out of the car. A very twisted crime all in all. Kaymia Blackmon, 19, Dewitt Anderson, 32, and Cedric Banks, 36, were arrested in late March. Each suspect is charged with capital murder in connection with Amaya Carey's death. All 3 suspects are currently being held without bond.
Her loved ones just now receiving justice for what happened. Some police found a body with multiple gunshot wounds on Forest Avenue Extension in the middle of February. That person was later identified at the end of March as 18-year-old Amaya Carey. A friend of hers says how she reacted to the news of her friend's death.
I shut down, and I really didn't want to keep going through life, making through new friends, because it was like every time I made friends, something would happen to them. So I kind of gave up a little bit.
3 have been arrested and charged with capital murder by the Jackson Police Department. Deputy Chief Derek Hearn said last week investigators were able to make the connection after family alerted them the last 2 people Amaya was seen with was 2 of those 3.
They was the last one that was seen with her, and so that's where our investigation started.
Now her friends are left with the memories and final communications they had with Amaya.
The last time we was texting, communicating, I told her I loved her and to be safe, and she told me she loved me too, her and her baby.
We hope Amaya Carey gets the justice she deserves. This is a very sad and senseless crime which could have been totally avoided. A lovely and vibrant young mother who had a good life ahead of her was murdered for very silly reasons. Our sincere condolences to the friends and families of Amaya Carey. May Amaya's memory be a blessing for her family and for all who knew her, and may her life and death be an inspiration and a turning point towards justice and increased protection for gun violence survivors. Please stay safe out there and see you guys in the next video.